All right, guys, it is fun and nice to have you here. I feel like it's going to be an amazing podcast episode today. Yeah. And since I don't have any official opening line, I want to do freestyle. You were threatening. Yeah, you were threatening with some freestyle hip hop here.
Yeah, I guess as the youngest and prettiest, I have to go first. Hello, my name is Nolan. I play guitar in this band called A Dream About Home.
I do the singing.
All right.
My name is Kyle Lucky, and I play bass and move my feet and shake my butt.
Awesome. Guys, it is so incredible. We have show tonight. Of course, you guys going to be watching this podcast right after, weeks later after the show, and we're going to probably even show you how cool it was. Guys are headlining, which is incredible. I'm honored to be in Sacramento. Sacramento have been like fucking in my bucket list for 1,000 million years already.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so glad this worked out. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Listen, Sacramento has amazing metal scene here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
yeah.
We love our
Yes, we do.
exactly. And not to mention, Aftershock is happening here too.
Yeah.
Are you guys going?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All 4
I think
days.
my wife is actually working Aftershock.
Oh, really? She's
Yeah.
volunteering or she's working?
No, she has her own podcast, and she's going to be doing some of the interviewing of some of the artists out there. I know she's got her media pass, but I'm taking my kids with me.
We're going as fans.
Yeah, we're going as fans. I'm not working, but I'm going to go get in the pit with my kids and throw down.
One of my daughter's bucket list artists is Bring Me the Horizon, and you never really get the chance to go see them anymore. They're like a major arena rock band, and they're playing Sunday, so it's like not a school day, and she can go. So we're gonna go do that.
The first year I went to Aftershock, it was so incredibly hot and I was miserable. But then last year, it was actually really cool. And I got to wear overalls the entire time. And let me tell you what, people lose things at Aftershock. When you have overalls and you have like 7 different pocket options, you become everybody's pack mule, even for people that you don't even know. And so like, it's always funny. It's like, okay, my wife will run out and she'll go get the zoomies and go into the mosh pit with her friends. And then I'll be sitting there. I will have like 5 phones in my little chest pocket and zip it up. And I just sit back there and bob my head down. It's fun.
By the way, metal and rock scene in Europe is really, really like good.
Oh,
Really
yeah.
great.
You guys have the best festivals.
Oh, my God.
Festivals in Europe are fucking incredible.
The black metal ones.
And
Those
when you
ones
guys
are
say
crazy.
you almost died on festivals, I know what is it like. I started going to festivals since I was like allowed to go out myself, right? And you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna buy a ticket to the festival because this ticket is outrageous. I don't believe in expensive tickets for the festivals because I think music should be accessible, and we're gonna talk about this a little bit more. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for free. I know this is horrible. I should never have done this because musicians who perform there, they need to be paid because this is a job. I was like, little shithead. I would sneak in. Everybody who's watching this, I'm sincerely sorry.
I did the same thing when I was in high school. I snuck in a lot.
Oh,
I snuck
yeah.
into all of the shows I could possibly go to. I didn't have a job. I was like 16, 17 years old.
I had a
so-
job, but I was very, very broke. Like
I don't think you.
if
I don't think you
need
should
to
feel
s-
ashamed because the bodies, like as a performer, I'm sure you know what's really important is the like asses and seats. Having bodies at the show, especially somebody who cares enough about being there to like break the rules to get there. I think
I
that's
want
more
those
important
people.
than
I was
somebody-
hardcore fan, and to be
Yeah,
honest, I
that's super
think I
important.
needed that music so much. My life was really messed up. Shout out to those people who are behaving appropriately on festivals because this is like how we take care of each other in community.
Yeah, music
Yeah,
is
100%.
music is family, you know. And I've noticed I've gone to a lot of different genres of shows. I've noticed that the rock shows, everybody, especially metal shows. I mean, if you see a kid get into a mosh pit, it is protect the youngling at all costs. People will, circle up and let that kid have a good time. But I've noticed at country shows, they're a whole different beast. I say, watch out at the country
Dude,
shows.
reggae shows. So I work at 2 venues in town. And I can tell you, me and all of my people who work at venues dread reggae shows. It is like, come on, it's supposed to be chill and everybody's stoned. And then for some reason, there's just the most amount of attitude. There's the most, it's just.
That's so weird. I
it
would not
sucks.
expect that at all.
They're rude and it's terrible. Speaking on music being like a safe place, right? That's something that I want to bring up again because it's such an important part of what I've done my entire life. I'm 31. When I was like 12, 13, I started dealing with suicidal ideation and like started acting on stuff. So that was really bad. And what's crazy is, like you said, rock and metal was the only place I was okay. Because you can't be like a country dude and like be cutting your wrist. Because like, you don't like the club and popular groups, they have their self-harm and they have that, but it's like very hidden. It's not safe there. Like it is in rock where like when I was a kid, I was listening to The Used and it was all, it was like a box full of sharp objects all the way. So I felt accepted. I was like, no, this person's telling my story. They're speaking on what I feel like. And I feel like Burt McCracken a lot of the times. I all of his words my whole life were just like touched on things I never could say or no one would ever say around me. Yeah. So rock and metal, emo, post-hardcore, all of these like sub-genres of that alternative thing has always been the most accepting. And you notice like the more commercial things get, sort of the more cliquey and the less accepting it is.
Yeah.
I actually came across the same problem being already adult. I know that lots of teenagers and young people struggle with depression, and it's just also because life is not easy for everybody, and people are coping with their own traumas and problems all the time.
Everybody's got their own stuff.
When I started facing same problem, my song "What If" is actually about depression and suicidal thoughts. Which is sad, but yes, we can shut the fuck up and not talk about this. But this is more common than people
Then it gets
think.
worse. So
If you want to exclude uncomfortable conversation just because you want to feel comfortable, go ahead. But like these thoughts are not disappearing, and it is safer to talk about this and reach out for help rather fucking dying alone and rotting from inside and one day just.
Sometimes I genuinely feel terrible during my set because you'll see tonight a lot of my music is about that. It's about friends who died. It's about trying to kill myself. It's about being like a good person, a regular person with that sort of underlying monster. A lot of the music is like that. So I feel really terrible about being direct and saying things like in my set in front of my family. Like this is like the experience that I've had of life, and I feel like most people wouldn't get that from interacting with me because at this point in my life I am healing. I feel good, like I'm working hard. I don't feel that monster's not like coming up as much anymore.
Yeah.
But it's still like every time I play the set, it's like a reminder of like that thing is with you. Like it's not going away.
And it's better to voice it. And you know what? Yes, I also feel embarrassed. I have few songs about very rough topics, and that's why I love rock music and a safe space to talk about. And honestly, healing through art is the most healthiest way of healing ever. Like 100%. You can fall into addiction and get absolutely lost in there, or you can heal through art. And I love rock music because it's a safe space where you can be you, and this community meant to accept you for ugliness you have, for scars you have. And I like the aesthetics because this is how I am inside. I didn't choose this. Yeah. Some things was absolutely out of my control. I just pushed through it. Mm-hmm. And this music is something what kind of like resonates with me because I have lots of pain and rage. Not because I'm a bad person. I just went through lots of shit.
I've always felt like when I'm creating music, and I know that we've had this conversation before, that creating music has to take something from you. Creating a good song has to, me, in my opinion, it has to come from inside. You take the culmination of the things that you're going through, the trauma, and then the realization that this is what I'm doing right now is my art that's taking and giving a voice to that, which could also, at the end of the day, help somebody. So I always feel like it's my motto is music has to hurt. If you're, it has to hurt.
If I don't lean out from the vocal booth with tears in my eyes
100%.
During the session,
100%.
I don't actually like those songs. Like the songs that don't make me cry that I write of myself. Like if I'm not crying while I'm tracking it, I don't even want it. Move on to the next one. On to the next one. I literally will do that. I'll just bounce from song to song to song until I find the one that like, and then I will flesh that out.
Sometimes I'll text Dwight and I'll just say, "Who hurt you? Who hurt you, sir?"
And I think,
dude, what did they do?
Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about like rock music is that it's one of those things. And coming back to the topic of like at a country gig, you're going to see less of this, is that rock music embraces this uncertainty. Like there's always an inherent, like, I guess, mentality of, you know, rock music is for, you know, children, young adults, whatever. But it's like, no, go fuck yourself. Like, we're going to make this happen. Like, you know, we might not be 100% certain, but that's where we gain power. That's where we gain that strength to be us. That's where we gain the power to write these songs and where we gain power from the songs that are written. Sorry for knocking that.
No.
It's hilarious to me to think that other people would like go to a rock or metal show and see a bunch of people with like tattoos and gauges and be like, this is for children. Like you have to be like an adult to get tattoos.
You have to be at least 18
like, you
years
gotta
of
have
age, sir.
money to get tattoos. That just costs a couple grand, dude. No.
I'm in rock community for so long and in music community for so long that I keep forgetting that people are kind of labeling us like antisocial. Because like I'm a mom with 2 kids, but I keep forgetting I don't work corporate jobs, right, for over a decade already. Yeah. But then recently I started noticing that people are reacting to me, especially with my new album, because it went heavier and I feel absolutely comfortable. And I think I found
your groove, your niche right there.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, I'm sticking around this. This is great. Yeah. And I started seeing how people are like boxing me into like little like categories, which I don't like because I'm more than that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I get comments like, go find Jesus. I was like, who made you, what made you think that I'm Antichrist? First of all, I'm not very religious, but I'm genuinely a very, very nice person.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell? But I'm getting like, because the looks, because the language I use, or like my voice is kind of low with the raspy a little. So like people assume lots of things about rock or especially metal scene.
Yeah.
But if you see all of those like wow metal singers on the stage behind the merch table, they're like, oh, thank you so much for buying my shirt.
They're so nice.
Super nice.
People come up to me, I'm like up there, I'm like, yelling, and then they come to me after the show and I'm like, oh my God, thank you.
The absolute sweetheart.
And I was gonna say, like, what you were talking about, like being like a mom and like people associating like a certain box that you have in there. I have 3 kids, and I can remember when I dropped my middle daughter off to kindergarten and I had full sleeves and I was clearly a younger parent. And I can remember the looks that I got at, you know, dropping my kid off at kindergarten, you know, people wanting to stand off a little bit of the side. Me and my wife, which was so funny because we were the nicest people. Fast forward 10 years later, I'm out there coaching their kids at baseball games, you know, and it's like, oh, I guess I wasn't that bad in the first place. Now,
surprise.
Yeah, surprise.
I'm often reminded of this show that I went to actually right next door to where we're playing tonight, where I saw this band called Spite. Yeah, I saw Spite. Just a tiny little deathcore band called Spite, you know. You know, it's like they're cultists or something like that. But I remember seeing that band for the first time, and I was, you know, terrified for my life, of course. And then talking to Darius after the show, and he's like, "Oh, thank you." And I'm
That was so nice.
I'm like, yeah, this is the life, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
also, by the way, after screaming for so long, why wouldn't it be not nice? You
Exactly.
let all this out.
Oh, yeah.
After me, like, having said, I'm so tired of screaming. Why would I scream?
know.
Yeah.
I want to sit
so
down,
cathartic.
drink. I want to take off all of my outfits. Jokers were choking me, literally. I want to put something soft and cozy and drink tea with
my
you.
gosh. We just
and
had-
talk about, watch Dr. House and, like, you know, Desperate Housewives or stuff.
Oh, that's a good show. I could talk all day about Desperate Housewives. It's so funny. We just had a gig in Fresno on Friday, which, by the way, the people of Fresno, get down. You are hood certified. We appreciate it.
we love you.
But it was funny. Like, I was driving down there, and like I had just gotten off of work, and I literally was in like soft shorts, high socks, and like, you know, slip-on sandals going in there. And it's like I like to be so comfortable before shows, and then I'll change into my stuff right before the show, and then as soon as we're off the stage, I'm going right back to my comfies. I'll put my slides on.
I don't even bother with like changing. Like I have friends who have like they have like load-in outfit, show outfit, and then merch table outfit.
What, you mean me?
Yeah, straight up.
And like for me, I will literally show up in my gym clothes and just like play flip-flops and gym clothes and play through the whole show. And I'll even kick off my flip flops before I play. That's
Straight
my
up.
that's my thing. It's like when the sandals come off, you know we're getting.
Like, oh yeah.
I was
Once
like,
you see the
wait
toes-
for it, I'm coming.
Once you see the toesies, you know it's going to be a good set.
What's funny? on
Hey,
a
that's
side
good
note,
idea for a merch.
I wore Toms
Sandals.
for a couple of shows, and at both of those shows, I fell. Cause like I'm used to Vans or barefoot, and like I was wearing these Toms, and I just like kept slipping and falling down. I fell off. I fell off the stage at Goldfield and off the stage. What was the other venue?
Oh, it was a Titan
Titan
Fest.
Fest, yeah.
But I fell off the stage too at Titan Fest as well. Right after I was like, look, everybody, Dwight fell. And then I fucking fell 3 minutes
so no
later.
more Toms. It's all flip flops all the way.
Yeah,
I'm like,
straight up.
look at me.
After we got off stage, I was like carrying everything off. I'm like, oh, yep, that's my ankle.
I
That
think we
hurt.
all had to peel our shirts
I fall
off of
from
each
stage
other.
way too many times.
Oh, yeah.
Just to confirm,
Nobody
like
talks
I
about
had
that. Yeah, nobody talks about
if
that.
You don't
It was
fall off the stage, you're not doing
ridiculous.
it right.
Yeah,
Okay, you're
yeah.
not. You're not. Are you playing a show if you don't fall? I'm a very genre fluid person. I love hip hop. I like pop. I like alternative. I like hardcore punk. I like deathcore. I like all of the music available. I consider myself a student of the voice and a student of the story. So that's genreless. Like you
Yeah.
don't even have. There's no like all music has good story. I would say what we do kind of leans on post-hardcore. Like a lot of the bands we grew up on, like Seosin and like Bless the Fall, Under Oath, stuff like that. I'm hugely inspired by like Circus Survive, so a lot of my vocals are kind of like that. And we do a new thing too, because I love hip hop. So all of the songs have like this like rappity rap type
New
thing.
metal.
Yeah, I do like I love Linkin Park. So like the
Yeah.
MC voice comes out of me when I have a message to deliver in the middle of a song. Something I really want to say, I will talk it. I will say the message.
Yeah.
And then I'll go right back to screaming and yelling at the top of my range in a chorus. It's very intense. I would say like the vocals are the most intense part of the music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's your music? Like, what do you guys stand for? Why you do music?
I personally do this. Like the reason I built this thing was because I wanted actually something. I wanted to be like the anti-industry thing. A lot of the people I listen to, like Kasky, Echo, Token, a lot of the rappers that I really listen to a lot, they're independent artists. They own their own ship and they run it. And I've always identified with that, been inspired by that. What I want to be is like a regular person who builds a genuine community. I don't want to look flashy. I don't want to put makeup on and do thirst traps online. I don't want to do literally 95% of the shit that people are telling me, you have to do this. If you want to be big, you got to do this. If you want to be big, you got to hop on this trend. I don't give a fuck
Once
about
I hear
trends.
that, once I hear somebody say, you have to do this, I go, I'm definitely not going to do
And
that.
it happens even within our own camp because we all have different ideas about how a band should operate. Like
Yeah.
even our drummer is telling us like, he's really pushing like covers and pushing like other like backtracks and like not in a bad way, but just kind of like trying to help the band evolve.
Yeah.
And the question that we're asking ourselves as we start to evolve is like, what direction do we want to evolve? Do we want to evolve into the same band that's playing every night in Sacramento? Because all of the bands are doing relatively the same stuff. It's all industry standard. It's
Yeah.
all, you got to do this, this, and this to make it. And so everybody's like, yes, let's follow this formula. I want to make my own formula.
Yeah.
I want to show people that you don't actually have to do any of the shit they're telling you. If you're real true to yourself and you work on your craft as hard as you know you can, and you're really putting in those hours, I think it's going to be fine. I don't want to be a rock star. I don't want to be the next MGK or like be a household name. I just want to sustain. I want my friends to make 150 grand a year. And I just want to live like that, Music is like a path for me to like survive. And then on top of that, I'm like, oh, we can have a business doing this too?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, definitely let's do that. But we got to go about it the right way.
You know,
Otherwise, I can't sleep at night.
I love combining. I love keeping my voice loud and certain topics, especially if it is something like I really believe into. But also, I like to doing all of those things what you guys hate, like posting and being this and that. I just want to find right balance between being authentic, but also make the message deliverable and the music consumable. So I would say I would go for mainstream vibes rather completely underground. But my music is kind of underground because the topics I discuss in my songs are kind of heavy.
What's
So
cool
we'll
about
see.
what you're doing right now is that you have some templates ahead of you that like somebody who recently did, I want to say, very similar vibe as Scene Queen, right? She's like a Barbie pop kind of girl. She wears like a lot of pink.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
She's got this like preppy girl image, and then she has this heavy sound. She's using her sound as well to like deliver certain messages as well. Like 18 plus, like I don't even like seeing Queen's music, but when that song comes on, I'm like, yeah, get those kids off your phone.
Ringtone, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I
It's
was
your
like,
ringtone.
I'm like 18 plus. So that's cool that there's like you can see that even though she's getting a ton of hate, and I don't personally love her music or her gimmick or her style or really anything about what she's doing at all except the message, it's like that is doing well. Like I could not deny, even though I'm like I don't love, like I'm not going to stream the music, but I would not sit there and be like, oh, that's not doing well. It's doing so well, it's undeniable.
100%.
So that's something I think that's going to be really cool. Like as you discover like the path, you build this metal path for yourself, you know, you're going to find a lot of people who are like, yeah, we love this. And the more people hate on you, the more people who love you even more. Because then they're going to be like, what do you mean you hate this thing that I love? I love it. Like, it's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I came around metal. I grew into metal just now. I always were alternative new metal girl from very early childhood. And then I started exploring between genres. But now I feel like I finally found something what really resonates, and I'm gonna stick around with this. Maybe even go ahead.
What's the band that got you into like heavy music? Like if
That's
you were,
a good question.
This could be controversial, right?
We're interviewing you now. We
No,
want
this
to
could
know.
be controversial because
Oh wait,
everybody's
I feel
idea,
like we're just talking, right?
everyone's
Yeah.
idea is heavy is different, right? Like everyone.
Yeah,
has a
of
different
course.
vibe
But let's
for
say rock
heavy.
music. What brought me to rock
But
music?
like the stuff that makes you like want to like break, like mosh, like your idea of heavy. What was the first thing that you heard and you were like, this is heavy?
Okay, so here's the thing. What I listen now and what I heard for the first time, completely different.
Of course.
Sure, yeah.
Linkin Park. I was in grade 7. I heard in the end, I was like, what is this? I could not even define the genre because I never heard distortion guitars before. Now I love listening like Architect.
Oh, they're
Sick.
great. Yeah.
I love listening.
That Holy Hell record, I can't.
That's so
It's I couldn't even describe how much I love it. It is top tier.
Yeah. I listen lots of like small bands like Dead Eyes. They are like
they're
recently
new.
pop
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, they're coming up. They're playing
I
Ace
keep
of Spades.
exploring,
Remember they're on
finding
the
new
Virtue show with
bands.
Archie.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have like I have my own playlist where I have Poppy, Fall in Reverse. We're gonna talk about Fall in Reverse. I have Fall in Reverse, especially. I don't like what they've done before. It's like emo is not my. I don't like emo music that much.
Boo.
Whatever.
Oh, that's it. I understand.
Get out!
Yeah.
But I like more like metalcore things.
On the vein of like discovering heavy bands, right? Like I know that I grew up. My dad was like a country guy who like worked in bars for a little while, and then so he listened to like hip hop and R&B before I was like 8 or 9, right? By the time I was like 10, he was dating this girl who was like just an alternative queen. Like she had a Bible book of CDs, everything from Kitty, System of a Down, Linkin Park.
Oh, System of a Down, my favorite. I
She
love
had
System
this
of
lady
a
had
Down.
this lady had every CD up to like 2005 that was like alternative, edgy metal. What like literally had everything.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing that stuff and being like, this is cool. I think Chevelle might have been the first band that made me
I love them
They
too.
might have. I think I was like, this is heavy. Like it makes me want to like. Dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun, dun. It was very cool. Then a friend in 7th grade showed me a band called Waking the Cadaver, and I had never gone back. I have been a fan of everything, like everything right down to like the niche stuff. But personally, I think bands like my favorite kind of heavy music is going to be bands like The Plot and You, like who are able to do like a commercial sound, like Disposable Fix.
Yeah.
Was so like that. That is such a heavy segment that like it's not a heavy metal song or anything like that. Like people might shun me for that, but that record is heavy.
Listen,
Heavy
people
pop
always
is cool.
argue about sounds and productions, especially metal scene, because alternative can be like very flexible, right? People can go for different vibes. So here's the thing: modern metal. This is something what I really enjoy. I think that's why I came around metal just now, because my little alt girl there loves good production, mainstream sound. I love this crispy vocals and very, very high end production, and like Linkin Park. Like once you love Linkin Park, you cannot go down. You know, it's
absolutely.
So now metal sounds less underground, more mainstream. I would say like modern big bands, and I love this about this. Like, so
The thing that bothers me about that though is that like all of my favorite bands from like 2007 to 2010 all sound exactly the same. Devil Wears Prada, Bless the Fall, literally all of those bands sound the same to me. When I see them play live, I'm like, cool, it's the same template. And even though I loved their original records and following their journey, it's like now I'm bored. Bands like the Devil Wears Prada, they nailed it. They're the one.
They're
the chosen one for the modern pop kind
Couldn't
of
be nicer people too.
to pull out of the
Couldn't be nicer people. They're so nice.
I still like I'm looking for the edgy thing, like the thing that isn't modern, sort of commercialized. I really like raw authenticity. Like there's an artist that I won't even name because they're so problematic. But their music was just like recorded in a bathroom. He just sang and played guitar and just yelled at the top of his lungs, and I hear it scratches that itch for me of just like, ugh.
No, listen, this is great. And that's why I love rock music, because we have like so many different flavors. Honestly, if I hear a sound from the bathroom, I'm gonna gug.
Yeah, all
It's
the
just like,
reverb and stuff.
oh my God, reverb and vocals, like,
Yeah.
But I just want to say, this is
Tyler
a different
Childers, all the live
preferences.
recordings, those
You
are
love
sick.
you love chocolate ice cream. I don't love ice cream at all. It doesn't have to be same for us. Shake each other's hands and be like respectful. It's just different flavor of
Well, I've
music.
been on that my whole life because I realized that like as bands like Falling in Reverse, whom I hate.
Oh my
got
God.
more popular. I was
We'll
like,
bleep it.
Let's dive into this topic.
No, my perspective was like I strongly dislike this thing. It's one of the most popular things.
You can't deny the marketing.
So obviously I'm not tapped in, right? I don't know what's good or what people like. I just know what I like.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. People play that around me, like when my daughter plays Falling. My daughter's 10, and she puts on like, I met a girl and I really thought she'd I've been following Ronnie Radke for his entire career, like ever since the first Escape the Fate. They're flawless victory. That classic album, I listen to it every
It's a
single
good
year,
one.
but everything else that followed bothered me.
You don't like a new album? You don't like that? You didn't like Ronald?
Ronald Radke?
The song,
I would be
Ronald.
lying.
With the Alex
I'd be lying if I
Terrible.
said that it wasn't good, right? Because objectively, it's good. I personally don't. I listened to it
No
one time.
problem.
I don't think I made it through the album.
I am new in America, and I don't know Fall in Reverse the way you guys know, because like they were not internationally popular back then. Now, yes, with modern stuff. So for me, Fall in Reverse was never emo band. It was only metalcore, because I discovered them just like, I don't know, a year ago. So same as you, I don't really know that much of biography, but when I came across Fall in Reverse, I fell in love with their new stuff. I think the first song I've heard was Ronald, and I was like, oh my God, this sounds incredible. And why I even paid attention? Because Alex Terrible is from the same region I am.
Slaughter to Prevail.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The
I was
voices
waiting
he
for you to
make
mention them.
are
When I asked you about heavy
insane.
bands, and I was like, oh, what's the heavy band? I was totally expecting you to say Slaughter to
No,
Prevail.
okay, I have my own.
He's crazy.
Okay, Alex is somebody who I admire, but also I'm very cautious. But it's not because he did something wrong to me. No, nothing. He seems like a very nice guy. Also, I don't know him in person, although we are from the same region, and I will tell you fun stories. Back then, in my early 20s, I was kind of like, we were not famous, but we were kind of regionally known. I was an alternative band. We were like performing for the best shows, back rock concert and stuff. And I remember he started popping up on YouTube, and I was like, who's this fucker? Of course, I had lots of respect toward him. He was so cool, so authentic. He was driving his what's the car? Snow car. The car in the snow.
The snowmobiles.
Snowmobile. I was like, wow, he brought light to his hometown, and I'm happy that Russian speakers are getting out of metal scene. Like Jinjer is like from Ukraine and
my
stuff.
God.
Like,
yeah.
I'm proud of. Although I was born and raised in Russia, I'm not Russian. I'm enjoying seeing lots of people from Eastern Europe popping up in metal
Yeah.
scenes.
Yeah,
It's like
absolutely.
amazing, right?
We love it here.
There is one thing what I feel a little uncomfortable about, because I was immigrant, born and raised in Russia. I was always bullying for my ethnicity, and it was period when skinheads were very popular back then. I don't know about America, but in Russia and Europe, skinheads were very, very dangerous. And as an immigrant, I got in lots of dangerous situations. And Alex, in one of his interviews, mentioned he was skinhead. And I understand. He was like, I was a kid, idiot. I understand when I was a kid, I was an idiot too. And this is what I like about Ronnie. He's owning his mistakes too. Like, I always give benefit of doubt, especially people who I don't know. Because message on the internet can be like,
It can be shaped however.
Yeah. So I have lots of respect. But as a person who was severely bullied for my ethnicity and being called names and slurs, I was like, oh my God. And he looks like classic skinhead, this big dude,
really
bald
does.
guy. He looks like dangerous
not
guy.
somebody I
I
would
was
wanna
be
be
like,
alone
I
with.
don't know. I don't feel safe
But he's
around
a really
this.
sweet guy. Wrestling with the bear thing and the bare knuckle fighting and he smashes the microphone into his head.
That shit is terrifying, you know what I mean? That dude is fucking,
Yeah.
he's huge, but it goes back to those people that look the scariest.
I'm sure he's
they
a
could
sweetheart.
be the nicest people in the world,
Yeah.
and that's the authenticity that I respect.
Dude, existing in a scene
definitely.
with so much like you don't like emo music, but all my life I've been an emo musician.
I know, yeah.
Emo musicians are not well liked out there. I
No.
don't know if you guys know this, but they're not.
You
don't
mean
have a
that
good
the society
reputation.
doesn't really
You know what I mean?
like
If you're
it?
like, oh, I'm an emo vocalist, people automatically
They
assume you're a
automatically
predator.
go,
And
oh,
you
shit.
should. You
it's
should because it's
God.
like the people out here using their power, using their influence to take advantage of anyone is absolutely reprehensible. Like it's completely wrong. And it happens time and time and time and time again here. So that's
Yeah.
It's
And
like
what scene
you
does
know.
it happen most often in?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So like for me and I think us like seeing people like Alex and Ronnie going out and being like accountable for their problematic behavior, setting a positive example and saying you can have made mistakes and still come out as a decent person. I think that's really valuable.
Yeah.
Because as a person who's
Yeah.
made mistakes for a little while there, I thought I was better off dead because I thought I would never deserve a platform. No one's ever going to like me. I messed up. I said something wrong. I was mean to the wrong person, blah, blah, blah. And I realized like, no.
People do mistakes.
Yeah, people who make those mistakes,
Given the
I'm
chance
sorry, but,
to
like, a good person doesn't
change something. Yeah.
if you just had a flat baseline average life experience, you don't really have the things to say. If you
Yeah.
haven't experienced life, if you haven't been bullied, if you haven't done something wrong, if you haven't spent time in jail, if you haven't had to be accountable for something awful, I don't not that anybody should take it personally, but I don't really want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
I'm a broken, dysfunctional person. I want to listen to the broken, dysfunctional humans. for a
broken,
little
dysfunctional
while.
person out there,
I
too.
want to hear from those people how they're thriving, how they're surviving, how they came out
Yeah.
and succeeded. Because I'm not the basic, foundation average person. I would like to appear that way. I think I want to come off as like just a regular dude for some reason. But I definitely don't. I don't think that making mistakes, being even a bad person at any point in your life is something that you should like be shunned for or completely canceled or anything like that.
I think executing person for the same mistake someone did long time ago over and over again, that's not okay.